Heavenly Father, we give thanks to you for your presence in our lives. Thank you for helping us to humble our hearts, that we may do what is honorable in your name. These blessings and others we ask in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Let us remain standing for a moment of silence, please, for Louis Moore, the father of Council Member Marvin Moore, District A, Ruth McGee, mother of Benita, Mayor Floyd Baker, Billy Smith, brother of city employee Rosemary Davis. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. So excited about the attendance tonight. I do apologize, but I was taking care of city business up to the last minute. We have to have our roll call, and Ms. Goldman should be here shortly. We have a lot of good announcements we need to make tonight. Chief Black, would you step down to the office and the gift cards? Ms. Goldman, please. Oh, you've got the gift cards, okay. Tell Ms. Goldman we're on the air, please. Well, as we wait, we will just wait until Ms. Goldman and I will share a few things. We had a great announcement for Morehouse Parish today, $120 million investment in Morehouse Parish. The governor was here today, and Ms. King. Ms. King, where are you? There you are. Okay, Ms. King will give us the details on that information, but that's a great announcement for us. Anytime our parish wins, we win here in the city of Bastrop, because Bastrop is the county seat for Morehouse Parish. I recall it was a few years ago, maybe 2 years, when DG Food came, and it was close to Christmas time. So getting good news such as that really helps us to feel good going into the holiday. It also supports the fact that we are a city that's post-IP doing fine and well on our way to recovery. It has been a pleasure. Dr. Knopfler, where are you? There you are. Been a pleasure partnering with the Morehouse Parish School System and Dr. Knopfler and the Chamber of Commerce. We've just had a great time with doing some things with our school system, and we certainly want to continue to support you in your endeavor wherever we can partner with you. I had the children riding with me in the parade, and that was just a wonderful experience. Thank you, Dr. Knopfler, for being so open to that endeavor. Ms. Goldman, we're ready for the roll call, please.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Nason.
Here.
Mr. Armstrong.
Here.
Mr. Moore. Mr. Locke.
Here.
All present, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We were just kind of winging it until you made it here so that we could officially open the meeting. Announcements. In lieu of a lot of announcements, we're just going to celebrate our winners and celebrate our children, because they are so important, and we want you to know, the students of Morehouse Parish School System and Prairie View Academy, that we value you, and you will someday sit where we are sitting, or be in the classroom, or holding Dr. Knopfler's seat, or holding the mayor's seat, or council members, and we want you to know that we are behind you 100%. I believe the first thing, so I won't keep the parents. Well, let me do this first. We have a special guest here tonight, and it has been all over the newspaper. Monroe got it first. the father-in-law of one of our officers, Elder Ernest Smith. We are so proud of you and his accomplishment. He is the father-in-law to Sergeant Chris Relevant, and we have a certificate of recognition for you. And he has a beautiful story, and I'm going to give him just a few minutes to tell his story. But a few weeks ago, we had the mayor's prayer breakfast, and I asked him, I said, are you coming? He said, I'd love to come, but I have a class to go to. He said, I don't think I'm going to make it. He said, if I see any way possible, I will. But you were unable to make it, but we are so happy now. You can tell your story, and you'll be able to come to the next mayor's prayer breakfast. But he recently graduated, on Saturday, with his grandchild and earned a bachelor's degree. And I just think that's a wonderful thing. And we want to. You'll join me. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to say some words of encouragement, but on behalf of this Board of Aldermen and the citizens of Bastrop, I wish to present you with this certificate of accomplishment.
Thank you.
72 years old.
That's right.
God bless you.
I don't like to tell my age.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's everywhere.
It's all over the TV now.
That's right. That's okay.
But don't tell anybody I see it. I'm going to give you a few minutes to talk.
Okay. I'm very appreciative to have this invitation to come and say a few words. I think I have it's a great accomplishment that I made. I was kind of shy. My wife told me I could make it in college years ago, so I help you go. I said, can't make it in college, but I really got tricked into it. Preaching at William Drive, I wanted to just take a few English classes with the old peoples down, Monroe. I heard it was some adult classes, so I went down there. But lo and behold, the first night down there, when I went to class, it was just college students. I told the teacher, I said, I can't do this. I said, I haven't been to school in 40-some years. I can't do it. She said, come on in, and so we'll help you. So that's how I got started. And then so I went on, and I graduated in 2009 with my second granddaughter, Frederick Smith's daughter, got an associate degree. And so I just wanted to get my bachelor's, and so I got it. But I was intending to finish next year. I was just going to take 6 hours a semester, but my grandson, Preston Coleman, who was, he played with Bastrop High through the three championship. And so he said, Papa, I want you to finish with me. But I had 20-some hours to take, and it was almost summer, but we doubled up, and we took 12 hours apiece to summer. And so we made it, and it's just been a great accomplishment to me. And just thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Ms. Ford, you want to talk about our partnership with the...
We were going to let you, if you want to, and then I think we were going to let you come down here, and we were going to let you call out one child's name at a time.
Okay.
And come up, and I was going to give them their picture to hold up for Mark to take a photograph of it, and then we're going to later get a group picture after they've all been up here.
And I think it would be an honor to have Dr. McLaughlin to join us. Absolutely. This is the fun part that we get to play Santa Claus. But the interesting part about it is that the children earn this. And we have some winners of the drawing contest for all third graders in Morehouse Parish are as follows. Beekman Elementary, Ramsey Sawyer.
hold this up, and then here's your prize. Yeah, I'm getting out of the way.
No, we wanted you in there. Come back in.
They're too sweet.
Okay, Vicki. Did you get a good one? I remember the last time I was beside Dr. Knopfler, I was looking down, and that was a picture that was printed in the paper. And of course, Dr. Knopfler
I'm
teased
looking
me.
down because I'm so short. That's what
He teased me. He said, "You really made me look good that day, man." Cherry Ridge Elementary, Jacob Costin.
Yours got out of order here. Here it is, Jacob. Hold yours up, and then there's your prize money.
Your certificate. Congratulations. H.V. Adams. This certificate goes to Skylar Martin.
Skylar, hold, here's your picture for you to hold, and then here's your prize money.
The next certificate, Gage Sistrunk. Did I say that correctly? Morehouse Magnet. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Here's your picture to hold. Here's your prize money. Can you hold that there? Okay. We're giving you a lot to hold.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stand right here, too.
Oak Hill Elementary School, Danielle O'Neill.
Congratulations, Danielle. I'll let you get over here with the mayor, but hold your picture up, everybody to see, and there's your prize.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. Pine Grove Elementary, Kiaria Carson.
Here's your picture to hold. You're welcome.
Let's turn around. Congratulations.
Here's your prize money. Daddy's getting a picture. You get it? Okay. Honey, we're gonna let you stand right there.
Okay. Prairie View, Fallon Brown, Prairie View Academy. Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. Did you want to get a group
We're
picture?
gonna get a group picture, so why don't we go, let's get all of you children, y'all come
Okay.
line up right here, right around the mayor and Dr. Knopfler and all of you. Then hold your picture and your certificate in front of you. You'll stand right in front of the mayor. We'll get you to stand over here on the other side of the mayor. Okay? You right there, honey, you're, that's good for you, that's not. What? I'm trying to get them where they can all get their picture there.
Just so they won't be. All right, y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
I am to let the parents know, this will be the photograph that's going in the newspaper. But we have taken a picture of, those of you parents that didn't bring your camera, we took one of each individual child. I will get them to ballot and get them to the principal after Christmas for y'all to get each photograph. So you can print it out.
So we have an overall winner, and the grand prize winner does not know. I don't guess. Been any leaks. But before I go into that, I know you're anxious to know. Let me ask all the parents of these beautiful students to stand up, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. And principals and or staff members to the schools. Thank you so much. And the grand prize winner, overall grand prize winner. Dorothy, do you want to make this announcement or should I make it? You come for the mayor. Okay. I don't really. Come on, Dr. Knopfler. We have anybody representing Prairie View? Anybody representing Prairie
The
View?
parents, I don't believe the principal.
A staff member?
A staff member from Prairie View, a parent.
Parent? Well, you come stand with us as a representative of Prairie View.
If you want to.
You don't?
You don't have to.
You don't have.
then.
We won't force you.
Bless her.
That's okay. The grand prize winner gets an additional $50 gift card. Students, I'm so proud of you. Your work was just fantastic. The grand prize goes to Gage Sistra of the Morehouse Magnus.
And we know how important this is. Your parents up here get a photograph with you too. Yes, this is indeed an honor. And this was so much fun.
To our listening audience, in the comfort of your home, just bear with us as we celebrate.
Yes, they're so proud of you.
That's right.
Let's give him another hand.
Thank you, everybody. That was fun. The whole project was fun. Dr. Knopfler, Ms. Ford, it's a pleasure working with you on that. And I will give you an opportunity to be excused. Love for you to stay if you want to stay for the entire meeting, but I won't task you with that. Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Knopfler. We have another graduate, the daughter of Council Member Marvin Moore. Jasmine Moore is graduating with her degree from Grambling State University, so we will have to make sure that we give Jasmine a certificate of acknowledgement.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 4, public comments as they relate to items on the agenda. Item number 5, approved minutes, regular meeting November 8th, 2012.
So moved.
Properly moved by Mr. Nason,
Second.
second by Mr. Moore. Are there any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, Finance Committee Report, Resolution 12-1478, Bills and Claims for the month of November 2012.
Mayor, I move for the acceptance of Resolution 12-1478, bills and claims for the month of November 2012.
Thank you, Mr. Locke. Properly moved by Mr. Locke,
Second.
second by Mr. Armstrong. Are there any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, appoint a new member to the Historic District Commission, Chris Andrews. Is Mr. Andrews here tonight? I saw him earlier today. I accepted this appointment. At this time, I will entertain a motion.
I make that motion, Mayor.
Properly moved by Mr. Moore
I second.
and second by Mr. Johnson. Are there any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, Ms. Cindy Haynes of Hill and Enzyme. I'm sorry about that. I guess I need some trifocals. Our audit report.
How are y'all tonight?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, briefly, we'll go over the audit report, and then if you have questions, I'll be glad to entertain those, or at a later period in time, if you have more time to look over the report and have other questions, be sure to let me know. Briefly, we'll just go over the activities of the city for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2012. The city, for several years, has basically operated the general fund on a $10 or $11 million budget. Total revenues from 2000 for the fiscal year ended 2012 were approximately $14 million, and that was exactly what it was the previous year. And I'm going to kind of be jumping around, and I'll go back to these specifically in a moment. So very little change in our revenues, overall revenues. Expenses decreased about $1 million from one year to the next. But overall, like I said, everything stays about the same. Very limited changes. No new resources, revenue resources. They just kind of, in total, stay about the same. At the end of June 30, 2012, the city had combined fund balances of $7.7 million. The city appropriately had budgets for all the funds required by the law. We had no new debt incurrences during the year. The city has approximately $6.8 million of outstanding debt, long-term debt, at the end of the year, but no new issuances in that fiscal year. But now, since then, we've refinanced some debt, but as of June 30, we had debt that we've had, the same debt that we've had for several years. All of the debt requirements were met, all the compliance issues were met. And for June 30, 2013, the city increased some of its budgets, but that's basically because of the industrial park project. We've got some street projects that we're going to be working on. And in the sewer fund, we completed a sewer project that we've been working on. So if you see in the report that the budgets have increased, it's not because of any local revenue sources. It's all grant revenues that we're getting for these specific projects. And then when those projects are complete, the revenues will go back down to about the $10 or $11 million. Okay, and looking at these charts here, just kind of a quick overview of just the general fund, we will see that our total expenditures for the year were $11 million. The intergovernmental portion of that's $1 million. You go around the pie. You can see the majority of the revenue is generated from taxes. That's our main revenue source. And that constitutes, we'll see in the next slide, those taxes constitute about 72% of the revenue. Ad valorem taxes are about 35%. Where are ad valorem taxes? Oh, okay, here we go. All right, taxes, then we break it down by ad valorem taxes. Sales taxes are 60% of our revenue, ad valorem taxes 35%, and then various sundry items are 5%. Now, in comparison to the previous years, I looked today, I thought it was interesting. For the previous fiscal year, sales taxes generated 59% of our tax revenue. Ad valorem taxes was 36%. So I think that's good that our sales tax revenue and property tax revenue has stayed, about the same from year to year with the changes we've had because of international paper. Okay, now we'll look at this expenditure side of it. In our expenditures for the year, the total for the year were also approximately $11 million, and the majority of that is spent in the general government, police, and fire. General government being just basically the total overall admin, the clerk's office, just the overall operations of the city. And again, these did not vary hardly any from the previous year either. I think in the previous year, fire was 23%, police was 20%, and general government was 31%. Okay, and next we look at the general fund current expenditures over a period of 3 years, and you'll see, again, I know I'm reiterating over and over again, but very, very little change, except you will note in the for general government from 2000, the fiscal year 09-10, how it dropped, and that's the first year the mayor was in office, and that's when we made the basically $1 million worth of cuts. So that's why that decrease is there. But the others, like I said, very little change in those. And then we'll look at them one other way, just a comparison of the actual budget, the budget being in the blue, the red being the actual expenditures. You can see that everybody stays pretty much within line. There was not any unfavorable variances. By law, if there's an unfavorable variance in total expenditures of 5% or more, in essence, there's been a violation of the Budget Act, but there was not an instance of that in any of the categories. And I think that's the end of it. So again, tomorrow or within the next few days, I'll be getting Ms. Goldman hard copies of the report and an electronic version of the report. So if you're interested in one of those types of report or whatever, let Ms. Goldman know, and we can get you a copy of that. Does anybody have any questions? I know that's fast and furious, but everybody's doing a really good job and watching the finances as well as they can, but hopefully with the announcement we've had today, things will pick up.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. That information is very important, and I appreciate working with this Board of Aldermen as we have worked so hard to adjust the budget to reflect the loss of revenues. Has not been easy, but things are leveling out, and we are going to remain optimistic about our future. Item number 9, Ms. Carpenter. And you have some guests with you.
Jimmy Davis.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for all of your dedication, and we welcome your guests who are with you tonight for keeping Morehouse and Bastrop beautiful. And we are doing some things that we know that's far greater than your ability to do, like the M2 renewable to address the quality of life on that side of town. And we had Dr. Sutherland with the University of Louisiana submitted a grant on our behalf for brownfield studies. So we're continuing to look for avenues to improve all of Bastrop, and we know that you've been working on the west side of town. I salute you for that, and now we'll hear your presentation.
I was very honored to be asked to help with that grant, and so I had some input, and I'm very excited. In fact, I talked to, I believe it's Pace Environmental that's working with the doctor at Pat. Yeah, and anyway, it's very encouraging, and I hope everybody else will share in it when they know more about it. Last April, I came to the City Council, and I showed a lot of pictures of Carter Park and areas that needed improvement, and it wasn't a fun thing to do, but tonight this is a fun thing to do. I want to go back. I was thinking, we need to go back. If it's only fair, if we show where we have problems, we need to come back and show where we've solved those problems. That's the right thing to do and the fair thing to do. Well, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know, it's not just Carter Park that we partner with the city with. There's some other projects involved. So I'm going to go through it fairly fast, but this is in appreciation for being our partner throughout the year. And in some of it, we'll touch a little bit on a few years back how some of the projects started. So our main goal is to thank you for being our partner. We have several projects. One of them is the main Carter cleanup project. It all started a few years ago when Willie McKee suggested that we possibly bring down buildings and get John Bentley, your city attorney, to help us with drawing up a contract with the property owners, and that's what we did. Our first one was this one right here, and I'm going to go kind of fast. This was the E.W. Smith house. It was quite involved because there was an estate, but we went through John, we had it all legal, and we were able to bring it down. This is another one, and this one happened, I think, the latter part of last year. This one happened this year, and as you can see, the before and after, it makes a major difference. And like the name of the project, we're trying to concentrate on our corridors because that's where it's most visible and it makes the first impression. This is the most recent one we've done. Of course, y'all know about it and saw it, but I did want to show it to you. There is another one on the drawing board that we hope to bring down the first of the year, but it's not signed yet, the contract, and it's not a done deal, but it's looking favorable. This is something else that we're doing to help with the Carter cleanup. We feel like we need to recognize those that are making improvements to their property. This is a little church out on West Madison. I think of it, I can't remember the name of it. It's a little.
Change the name to New Bird.
That's it. They're precious little ladies, and I think Ms. Goldsley is the lady on the end here, and her son has done all the work. And we're going to be recognizing more and more of the property owners, but they were one of the first ones. It's called a Thumbs Up Award, by the way. Of course, this is the Head Start building that St. John owns, and they've made some improvements. I think everybody's noticed them. They are precious. They've got the vivid colors, and they cleaned up their fence, and now they've put up a new sign on their gym. So we wanted them also to get a Heads Up Award, along with Litter Free Larry. This is what started the whole thing, the whole presentation tonight. This is the Park Recreation Project. This is Carter Park. And we started last spring with our first really cleanup at Carter Park. And if you'll notice that sign up there, I think at one time it had naked dancers on it or something like that. But anyway, we were able to get it down with the city. We'd never been able to do it by ourselves. So you see the before and after. And while I'm at it, we hope, we've got a dream. We hope to paint these buildings at some point in time. Don't know how we're going to do it, don't have a clue. But you have to make things happen, and we're dreaming a little bit right now. This also was made, I didn't have an after picture. These are the parking rails. Sharon Williams gave us the paint. I gave it to Willie, and they painted them, but it looks fantastic now. This is another part of the cleanup, and if y'all remember, about a year or so ago, we came to you with the Dixie League and asked you to please consider making the parks tobacco-free. You did it. Not only did you do it, you voted unanimously to do it, and we're very proud. In fact, we're the only one in North Louisiana that has that honor of having their parks tobacco-free. I hope y'all are as proud as we are. If you'll notice the fence here, this is at Carter Park. We were able to get a grant from Keep Louisiana Beautiful to paint the fence. It was all rusted, and we painted it black with your help. Willie did a great job, and we appreciate him on that. This is where we received the $5,000. This is, of course, a demolition, but the primary reason I've got it here is we received, I applied for a grant, a national grant, something I've never done before, but I wanted the restrooms at Carter Park cleaned up, so I tried it. I knew we wouldn't get it if I didn't apply, so I went ahead and applied, and we got it. It was a $5,000 Lowe's grant, and they sent me the check that's never been done before. That's usually a reimbursement or something like that. But anyway, it led to the repairs and more partners. If you look down here, as a result of that $5,000, we were able to use that for leverage to get more partners. The city of Bastrop came in with us very strongly. Energy gave us $1,000. Sharon Williams gave us some paint. Lowe's, of course, gave us the $5,000. Cost Plus Furniture. I was really concerned about the floors, and they had bid a job and weren't able to use some porcelain tile they had. They gave it to us. And now the restrooms have beautiful porcelain tile floors. But anyway, ABC Locksmith helped us, Bastrop Roofing and Construction, R&L Building Supply in Rouge, and Jeff Gray, who I've never met. I posted on Facebook. He said he wanted to help us, and he gave us, I'll tell you about it later. These are the little boys' rooms. The sinks has new handicap faucets. You'll see the floor, how pretty. We even have hand dryers that blow. These are the new light fixtures. And, of course, we've got new doors. Before they had a metal door. Now they have fiberglass doors that are superior to the metal doors. And we're very proud of those. This is the porcelain floors. We even have epoxy grout, which is recommended for restrooms. The floors made a major difference in the appearance of those restrooms. Of course, this is the little girl's room, and this is the new lavatories. And if you'll notice the soap dispenser, that was one of the things Jeff Gray gave us. And also the handicap rails, he gave us those. And the lighting, of course, we paid for with our grant funding. We now have combination deadbolts on the restrooms. I encouraged it because it may not work, but we'll never know if we didn't try. And we were willing to spend the extra money for combination locks. Each one of those locks, which we have 3, cost $130 a piece. But like you say, we wanted to try it. You don't have to have a key. You just punch in 4 digits and those doors open. Of course, the urinals, they were broken, cracked, stained, and everything, and those were our major expense. The next project that y'all have been so good to help us with is the dumpsters, the free dumpsters. Now, not to everybody, but this is pretty to me. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And this is beautiful. Here we have the overflowing dumpsters in the city of Bastrop coming out right there to help. See the truck? So I wanted to share with y'all that with the jury's help and with their dumpsters, we have hauled out of Morehouse Parish in the last year 101 tons of debris. That's a heck of a lot of junk. Last year we did 89 tons, and I hope we can do something similar to that next year. Also, the Wayfinding Gateway project. About 4 years ago, when I was active with Main Street, Mark and I applied for a grant through Preserve America, and we were awarded $25,000 for wayfinding signage. This is the final one. We've done the other 3. Y'all have seen them on Highway 165, 139, and also on the Marouge Road. Well, we couldn't do 425 because of all the construction. We've recently done it, and in time we hope to get a little power out there and plant some low-maintenance shrubs, something that thrives on neglect. But anyway, it was only with y'all's help that we've been able to do all this, and we appreciate you. And that pretty well sums it up, other than I want to say sincerely how much we appreciate you partnering with us. We've come a heck of a long way in a year, and I'm very proud, and I hope y'all share in being as proud as we are.
Thank you so much for your dedication, Ms. Carpenter. We know that this has to be a real passion for you to work so hard and know that your compensation comes from the reward of seeing things improve.
It is a passion for me. I don't know if you know it, but I was born in downtown Bastrop at the Garnier Clinic. And my daddy was city attorney for a few years. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this is my home. We have our problems, but this is home.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
when we all work together, it shows that great things happen. Thank you, and I want to thank your guest. I know Ms. Leonard and her husband are very passionate, and welcome Mr. Davis to the meeting. And I'm sure the council members, you have any comments you'd like to make? I'm sure they appreciate all of everything because it takes a joint partnership. There's just some things that our hands are tied on. So that's where helping hands come in to make things happen. Council members, you had any comments?
Just proud to see Mr. David, Mr. Leonard, the Leonard family here. Welcome.
Okay. Item number 10, liquor license renewal. Chief Black.
Mayor and council, I'd like to recommend that the following establishments that you approve their renewal of their liquor license for the year 2013. These are all just renewals. Bastrop Packet, 1630 East Madison, Class A, retail dealer off premises only. Fiesta Linda's, 1053 East Madison Avenue, Class R, restaurant license. Johnny's Pizza House, number 7, 1601 Park Loop, Class B, retail dealer on premises. Supermart 2, 1920 North Washington Street, Class A, retail dealer off premises only. Zeke's Place, 432 West Madison, Class B, retail dealer on premises. Porterhouse Liquor, 1851 North Washington Street, Class B, retail dealer on premises. Not sure about that one. In Club Old School, 924 Luther Avenue, Class B, retail dealer on premises.
Okay, now which one is the one that you're uncertain about?
Porterhouse Liquor,
That's off premises.
I think that's going to be off
Off
premises.
premises. It's off premises.
Okay. Do we need more clarity on that before we proceed, attorney?
I think it's a convenience store. It's not going to be on premises. It should be off premises. It may be just a typo, but.
I mean, I'm satisfied if the chief is satisfied with the listing and the description that he has.
Okay.
It
Chief,
should be
you
off-
comfortable with?
Off premises, yes.
Okay. All right. Council members, what is your pleasure?
I make that motion, Mayor.
Properly moved by Mr. Moore,
Second.
second by Mr. Johnson. Are there any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we are down to K. K, give me a few minutes since I didn't talk a lot about announcement. Chief Montgomery, Chief Black, any holiday tips you want to give? We are entering into the Christmas season. Usually every year we put something in the paper, so I'm going to ask that you do the same thing again. Same tips are applicable every year, no matter.
Yeah. I would say probably the main thing is during this time of year to make sure that as you're shopping, to be aware of your surroundings. Try to park in well-lighted places. Don't shop alone at night, things like that. And also when you make your purchases, put them in the trunk. Don't leave them in your car. Even though you like your car, don't put them in there where they're visible, where someone may try to damage the car to get in. Make sure everything is out of sight. And the main thing is just pay attention to what's going on around you.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Montgomery?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council.
Yes, sir.
As it relates to holiday tips, we're talking about the traditional stuff such as if you use live trees, make sure it's not dried out and you keep it, full of water. Also, with your holiday decorations, be careful about those. But now as it relates to just not necessarily holidays, but just the time of year, yesterday we had a bad incident where, people are using makeshift heating. And we want people to know that you need to be extra careful with that, because that can get out of hand pretty quick. And so even your regular heating, for us, your units and stuff, and your chimneys, you should have old service. And in the case of chimneys, cleaned out. And so we just want everybody to enjoy the holidays, have a grand old time, but please be careful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for either of the chiefs in respect to safety issues? I appreciate those points. I was out shopping one night, and I'm so accustomed to talking to everybody that comes up to me, and somebody in a car stopped and started talking, and the person that had been shopping at the same time in the store just waited with me because I didn't give it a second thought. And he said, Mayor, you need to be cautious of your surrounding. And that made me stop and think. The holiday times brings on a lot of things. It brings on things that we don't want to happen, that we hope that neither chief will ever have to deal with. So I appreciate those are points that are well taken. Also, we are getting ready to make all these improvements inside the city, the courtroom here. The judge is partnering with the city, and we're sharing the expenses to have this room completely renovated. The lighting will be updated. Also, the bid has been let out. We have a contractor who's going to be painting the exterior of the building, and the roof. We'll be letting you know more as that comes to fruition. So we have a lot of things going on that we're looking forward to, so just kind of bear with us. We will put out notices appropriately so that the public will be informed. We don't want you to get paint on your cars just coming at the wrong time when they're painting the exterior of the building. And we're so very proud of all of the accomplishments back in the police department. We have done some considerable necessary upgrades back there, replacing some walls because sheetrock was deteriorating, and we painted back there, moved vending machines, we made user-friendly rooms. We now have a classroom that will accommodate 24 people. So we feel good about that. Now we can schedule multiple activities. We have a multi-purpose conference room that will accommodate 8. We have a mini conference room that will accommodate 4. We have the conference room number 2 down the hall that will accommodate 14. And sometimes when you are dealing with other agencies and they need a place to meet, and sometimes we may use this courtroom, but you can imagine if you only have 10 people, you don't need to be in here. So we are able to book more events and keep things moving that address the general public in the city of Bastrop. So we will be getting notification out as we make exterior improvements and improvements inside the courtroom. Ms. King, I'm going to turn it over to you.
It has been a pretty long day today, but I appreciate the good turnout that we had from the city, and I appreciate the help from your office, Mayor Olive. I know Milzaki, your secretary, helped in the notifications. These things come about pretty quickly when they tell you that they're ready to do the announcement, and then you're waiting, and it's kind of hurry up and wait, and then at the last minute they let you release the information. And I guess, you know, a lot of people don't realize sometimes the secrecy that surrounds economic development, but in many cases, I'll say this, that particularly on a project this size, that we could meet competition on this from other states and other communities. So the Drax biomass people really imposed a pretty strict desire to keep their project pretty close. There were many components to this project that were outside of this area. You heard a lot about the port in Mississippi, but there's also in the port in Baton Rouge, but there's also a Mississippi plant component to this project. And it was certainly the biggest project that I've ever worked on. And I know that while it's not inside the city limits of Bastrop, that this project will benefit the city tremendously, because we'll have 250 construction jobs that will take place during the next year, and that those construction workers will be staying in hotels, they'll be eating in restaurants, they'll be buying things at stores, And I think that it will help the sales tax collections for Bastrop, and I think it's going to generate a lot of revenue for the city of Bastrop. I hope to see those sales tax revenues continue to go up. I think that that's a very desirable way to offset some of the needs of the city. And I think that we're going to get a lot of attention in this area, and we want people to feel that Morehouse Parish and the city of Bastrop are good places to invest their money. Another, it's just a good sign when people are willing to spend that kind of money in the parish. Are there any questions about the pellet mill?
I have one question concerning the site. Where is the site located?
Oh, they didn't, I don't think they said. The site is in Beekman. And I know we couldn't go over a lot of details about why Beekman, but in particular, this company, I showed them many different sites, including some sites inside the city limits of Bastrop. But we looked at probably what I thought was the top site, and there was a house next door. And they really did not want to be close to any residential housing. They, had some very strict, I guess, guidelines of what they wanted, and this was, they needed access to a rail siding. They needed, it ended up they needed 90 acres. And so in looking, and I guess in our biomass study that we did, and in looking all up and down the rails, I mean, even the Union Pacific Rail, which was advertised for potential abandonment, when you look up and down those rails, you're looking for property that's high. But in this particular situation, we had the 4-lane road. We had a mile from the 4-lane road to the rail, which gave us a good area for a rail spur. And you don't have to cross over, like in Marouge along the main line, you have to cross over the rail to get into the site. So you don't have to cross over the rail to get into the site. We had a big T1 internet cable, the internet highway that goes down 425. We had a 3-phase electrical service already to that site by Entergy. As it turned out, it wasn't quite enough. Electricity and Entergy has been a great partner in this, and seeing what they can do to increase the amount of electricity available to the site. And the company will co-generate the drying portion of the pellets by using the waste. But they do have possibly a couple of weeks during the year when they do shut down that they might need gas, and there was a gas pipeline at the rear of this property that they could tap for gas service. So we had all of the components there that were necessary that didn't have close residential contact. And it's going to be tremendous for the Beekman area. But, there were just lots of criteria there that all came together on that site. We did look at a number of sites, and I did look inside the city limits, but as I've said this many times, when you get into a large acreage situation, it's difficult to find all of those things that come together. And so I think it's going to help our rail. We're going to, it's going to increase the usage of our rail and help us maintain our rail lines here. And there's a lot of positive things for the city also. Are there any other questions?
Any questions, thoughts?
About that? Yeah.
Well wishing?
I mean, this project, I say this, I think we always say that this puts us on the map, but this project puts us on the globe. I mean, we're part of a global project, And one of the things that I discovered when looking at the forestry industry was that our timber industry was in really distress, and that without additional markets for wood in this area, we were going to continue to see low prices and potentially lose this sustainable forestry industry that coexisted beside our pulp and paper mills for many, many years. So I've got a little bit of additional things. If we're finished with that, but I did some advertising, and I did some advertising for the building, the spec building in the industrial park. And from the last meeting that we had, when we talked about the signs, we did have a person interested in the building. That's the spec building on the corner at 9100 Industrial Drive. He's not a complete startup business, and I provided that information to Ms. Goldman, and I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look over it on the Bob Johnson.
Mr. Lawrence, it was a template of an agreement that you had done, and we were sending this one to you to see if it could be used as a template to adjust what Mr. Johnson is seeking to do. So when you have an opportunity to look over.
Was it an email?
I think so.
Recently?
When did you see
When did we meet? About a week ago.
Because I'm
Ms.
looking
King.
at my emails now.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I sent it to Ms. Goldman.
No, I didn't.
You didn't get it?
I did. But now we have had trouble with our email this week.
We have, so you
okay.
may need to resend it.
Well-
We had some strange things happening off and on, so
Okay.
that could be one that got caught in the fallout from the problems we had with that.
Okay. Well, I'll give Mr. Lawrence a chance to look over that and see. I think Mr. Johnson's business Cross Connections Consultants is a good fit for the building. It's a fairly clean business, and that's a clean building. But anyway, I'll give Mr. Lawrence a chance to look over that, and I'll resend that to you.
Yeah, there was some interesting aspects about his endeavor. He's kind of going to be a sole source provider in some training that's associated with plumbing.
Yes. And
So I see how we could benefit in the region from this, but we do want you to take a look at everything, because we're kind of deviating somewhat from what we've been doing. But at the same time, if this puts us in a position to be on the cutting edge of some training, I think that's a plus for the city.
yeah, and an expansion. So it is a business expansion, and it is a non-competing business. He makes a specialized service. There are not any other people, even in North Louisiana, that provide this service. So we're in a non-competing business. So we're not providing any kind of unfair playing field if we do entrepreneurial startup type graduated lease. But that's what we would like for you to review. Are there any other meetings before the end of the year?
Well, we are
No
always
planned.
open to, if we have to have a call meeting, if things come up where we have to call the council, then we shift in high gear and we do so. But as far as something planned right now, we don't have anything scheduled.
Well, I'll make sure that you get that information. Okay. And then I know Mr. Johnson was anxious to get some kind of answer on the building before January, because he had a lot of business lined up. So if this is not going to work for him, he needs to be trying to make some other arrangements.
Okay. I think we can make some arrangements to get an answer to him within that time frame.
Okay. Well, thank you, and
okay.
I appreciate all of the support from the city, and
absolutely,
we're going to keep working to make this a growing community. We are growing here, so.
Absolutely. I did receive a call about 7 o'clock from the governor's office, so I know how things can change. The time frame had been 11 o'clock, and then when I got the call last night, it was 11:30 that they planned. And what time did he actually arrive here?
Well, it was 11:15, and I just went ahead and said 11 to kind of get everybody in there and get them settled down. It started out at 11:45, so it shifts. But I think he got there around 11:20. So
I think it was about 11.
The 11:30, we would have been early. So. And I was warned that he had been early a few times. So I thought, well, we'll just get everybody in there at 11 o'clock. But I told, I was afraid to send anything out until I got the final time, because then you have to start calling around and telling everybody that it's a different time. But
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. King. I believe that pretty much concludes our meeting for tonight. Let's not forget Bussy Break, the parting gift an international paper company is giving to the state wildlife and fishery. So that's another added attraction that's within our proximity of about 6 miles, I believe. Is that about right, Chief Montgomery? 6 miles, okay. So we have those things that are just on the peripheral edge of our city, and we certainly want to welcome whatever the state does with that. Water, for some reason, seems to draw people for entertainment. So I'm looking forward to how they fix that. The breakup, I don't know if we'll still call it a break, or we'll rename it to something else. Also, I'm still awaiting the response from International Paper Company executives on another parting gift that I requested. And they did give me a time frame, and everything that they are doing is pretty much going according to what they predicted about 12 months or so ago. So it's going off like clockwork. The last implosion went off well. I want to thank all of our departments, Public Works, Fire, and Police. We worked in synchrony with the Sheriff Department to make that as palatable with that awful sound that early in the morning that everybody has to endure. So, council members, anything else? Anything else, Ms. Goldman?
Not that I know of, Mayor.
Mr. Lawrence?
I think we're good.
We're good. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and if there's no further business, I will entertain the motion to adjourn this meeting.
So move.
Properly moved by Mr. Johnson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Moore, and I heard another voice. Mr. Locke. Any question? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.